Hi there, I'm going to show you a few basic examples of how you can use the grid tool to divide your page into columns. I'm going to be using a piece of paper that's designated with 38 spaces vertically by 26 spaces horizontally marked out on it to simulate an Archer and Olive or Scribbles That Matter or other popular size A5 journals. For my first example, I am using a 2-column layout. So I basically want to divide this page into 2 vertical columns. So to do that, I look at the numbers here, the number 2, and I see I have a number 2 here at the 13 dot, and then I have a number 2 here at the 26, which lines up perfectly when I put my 0 on my red line over here, my boundary, by my other boundary over here. So right at the 13 is where I want to make my mark, and then draw my line straight down to mark the center of the page. And I've created an example here to show you that I can make a 2-column layout just by using the grid tool, and I can be confident that I have gotten right to the center of this page. Now let's say I want to do a 5-column layout. Maybe I want to do the 5 weekdays, Monday through Friday, across my page. So 5, you'll notice if I start my 0 right at the edge of the page here, and I go across 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5, you'll notice that it ends at 25, which is 1 less than 26. So now I have a choice to make. Do I want to leave an extra space on this side of my page or on this side of my page? And I can do either way. If I wanted to just leave it on this side of the page, I could just start my marks over here. I could just start at the 5, going up from the 5 here to 5, and then over here to 10, and so on. Or what I could do is just move this over slightly so that I eliminate that space over there, and I actually start 1 space over here. So I put my 0 it out right here, and then my 5 actually goes to this dot here, and I go down the line marking, and I'll end up with my last 5 here right on this boundary line. So you can see in this example I kept the extra space on this side to put in times, and then put my days across, and then blocked out different times on here. And like I said, if you want, you can move this space over to this side instead. Now let's say I wanted to do a 4-column layout, but I wanted 3 columns to be equal, and then the 4th one I was okay if that one was just a little bit smaller horizontally, okay? So in that case, I can look at my grid tool here, and I don't have to use the numbers that are facing up in the vertical orientation here if I don't want to. In fact, what I can do is I can just look at the spaces that it makes here, and I can look and see that maybe what I want to do is divide my page right here at the 5, and the 5 that makes 2, and then 5 that makes 3, and then that gives me almost another box it's a little bit smaller, and that's what I wanted. So I can actually use that then to make a 4-column layout that has 3 equal size columns and 1 that's a little bit smaller. And here's my result. I have used the vertically facing 5 to mark this out to 3 equally sized columns and 1 smaller sized column. And the same way that I did this one, If I wanted to flip it, if I wanted to have this smaller column over on this side, all I'd have to do is zero it out on this side and say, here's my 5 on this side, and go backwards from here and mark here, here, and at 0. And that would give me 3 sections here, 1, 2, 3, that are equal sized and 1 smaller. Creating rows on the page works in much the same way. In this example, I'm showing you, this is a Leuchtturm journal, so this one actually has extra spaces, 2 extra spaces at the bottom, so I can decide if I want to have my 2 extra spaces, if I want to line it up and zero it out at the top and leave 2 extra spaces at the bottom, or if I want to zero it out 1 space down to leave me an extra space at the top and an extra space at the bottom, or if I want to just pull it all the way down and leave space at the top for, say, the page title, since the pages are already pre-numbered in a Leuchtturm journal. Then I can use the same method to make my rows. Say I wanted to make rows, 4 even rows going down the page, and I wanted to start, zero it out, a space, 1 space margin at the top, and then at the 4, the 4, the 4, and the 4 at the bottom here. And then I've divided my page evenly into 4 sections. Whether you want to make your own layout or you're inspired by some layouts you've seen in books or on Pinterest to do bullet journaling, I'm sure that the grid tool will make it a lot easier for you to make your grids.